Cool. Are you happier?
Yep.
Perfect. So, Miss Hannah Dearden, welcome to the Move Standard.
Hey.
We have another client case study and telling Hannah's wonderful journey from a long period of time struggling with her knee to getting back to run, complete multiple endurance events and grow something special of her own and keeping it within the family. So, welcome, Hannah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Oh, good.
The best place to start is probably to give people, and I wasn't going to start here. I think it's important to give people a little bit of background into you, what your life is like. Obviously, you're sat in a very hot and humid London at the moment. But what do you do? What's day to day look like for you?
I was gonna say day to day it's evolved. Day to day used to be probably like a 8 till 9 p.m. office life, and then I'm slowly wormed my way out of it. So I'll say day to day now, I've got I do 3 days corporate, 2 days my own business, Mathan. And then my corporate days are probably similar, 8 till 7 usually now, fitting and training around that. And then my Mathan days are obviously a lot more flexible, a lot more enjoyable, put it that way. But yeah, that's probably day to day, weekly, and then I kind of train a lot around it, around work, usually once a day, sometimes twice a day if I'm training for something. Yeah.
Nice. I think the reason I wanted to start with that context was I was always really impressed with how you managed to fit everything in. Yes, you maybe moved. You did though. Like whether you moved things around in the week a little bit, but you would always tick off at least 85-90% of the work across a week.
Yeah.
The rehab, double days, and obviously, I think that context is probably important for someone that's listening and maybe thinks that they're time poor. I think the one lesson from yourself was like you just found a way to make it work because you knew first and foremost you wanted to fix the problem.
Yeah.
But then you knew what the longer term goal was outside of just getting pain free, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like you say, it's one of those things where it's hard to make the time, but if you do make the time, it's worth it. And then if you know it's going to be worth it, you kind of make the time. But also caveating, I don't have kids. So it's a lot easier. I'm only looking after one human.
Yeah, no, definitely. But you're still balancing a lot. And obviously, from a personal brand perspective, you've got commitments there as well.
Yeah.
I know that they maybe don't feel as big as your other commitments, but they're still
commitments. They're like the fun commitments, but also good to do to show face at things. But again, it's like, I think when you're in London, you can mix them all into one, like your training becomes your social, which also then mixes with my personal brand and commitment. So it's kind of, I managed to tie it all into one, which helps.
Definitely. Right. So let's have a look at our timeline. And if we head back to April 2023, which was the Paris Marathon.
Jesus, don't get back there, PTSD.
Do you want to give a little bit of context as to sort of what the story was around that, how it went?
How it went so wrong.
I tried to find the picture of the amount of tape that you had on during it, but I saved you that one.
You know what it was? I had more tape on the back of my knee as well. You didn't even see that.
I
know. So I guess context, I've always ran, I've always played sport. I did tennis, netball, gymnastics, every sport under the sun, but I never ran. And then I had a couple of injuries when I was younger, but they were more I think just injuries when you grow up and what's it called? When your bones develop faster than your muscles or vice versa. I don't know. You know more than me. Yeah. But nothing that was actually a proper injury. And then it came to running in a straight line, and I got so many
for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. But no, I think I went from stopped doing netball, went into CrossFit, got really strong doing that, and then decided the classic, let's sign up to a marathon.
So was this sort of COVID time that you made? I'd never put two and two together, but I'm sure it will have been.
So I did it. When was COVID? COVID ended what? 21, 22?
Yeah, 21, 22.
I did the classic, started doing a little bit of running in COVID, but not really that much. To be fair, that was probably more when I went into CrossFit. We turned my dad's garage into a little CrossFit gym and had that was when I learned to do handstand push-ups, double unders, all sorts. But then I started running a little bit, obviously, just the 5Ks just to get out and about moving. But then I think I probably saw, it's probably like the year after COVID when everyone picked up running in COVID. I then saw it the year later and was like, okay, all these people that I know are now whacking out half marathons. And I think like I went home one time and I was just like, fuck it. I was like, sorry,
It's all right. You can
screw
swear. It's
it.
absolutely fine.
I was like, all these people running half marathons. I was like, mate, like if they can run it, I can. And I think I just banged out a half marathon just randomly. And I was like, okay,
As you do,
fine.
as you do.
As you do. I was like just stubborn. I was like, I'll do it. Um, and then it was just like a wave of like a couple of people in the gym were all signed up for it. So I was like, okay, fine, we'll get involved with it. And then like my friend was a friend of mine's an incredible ultra runner, and I was either going to do so Runner Eve offered me a plan, or my friend did, and I was just like, my friend was just starting online coaching, being a run coach herself, so I was like, I'll do hers. Runner
Yeah.
doesn't need any more people.
Yeah.
um, so I did hers well. Like I had a proper plan, and was still doing my strength, and it just went so wrong.
And again, I guess when you say strength, it was still like CrossFit style strength training, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think so she did like my running and I was running like 3 times a week, the classic like easy run, tempo run, longer run.
Yeah.
I never did more than three and like I built it up gradually. Like it was all built properly. It was never a fault of what she was doing. I think it was more just a fault of I hadn't conditioned or did the running strength. So I was
Yeah.
doing CrossFit strength and like I would still be banging out like max cleans or gymnastics or like WODs and like I think it was a mix of the running volume plus box jump like box jump what they call them I can't bloody think what they're called like
Jump
burpee
overs.
box overs like but
Yeah.
like when you kind of like jump onto a box and my squat depth was like ass to the grass and
Yeah.
I was very flexible and hypermobile but really severely lacked the strength in those hypermobile positions. I just kind of like if I squatted I just relied on being able to like bounce out of it
Yeah.
as opposed to actually being strong enough to get up from the floor.
Yeah.
um yeah.
No, that's cool. So obviously you were training, and I was reading back
Mhm.
through our notes and bits and pieces like that, and you picked up an IT band issue, didn't you? So that was some of the tape that was there.
Some of the tape.
And then you did the marathon. How was the
Yeah.
marathon?
Awful. Never again. I never want to see Paris Marathon ever again. No, so I did. All my running was going okay up until I think I got to like, I remember it distinctly. I did like my 30K run, and I did
Yeah.
20K with one of my friends, and then I ran 10K back home. And on the way back home, I remember stopping at traffic lights, and I was like, my knee feels like it is blown up inside. Like it didn't look swollen, but
Yeah.
it just felt so swollen inside. And I think I never actually got the scan then, but I think that's when I probably tore the meniscus then.
Yeah.
And then, because I had that one, but it was very swollen inside. And then I got the other side was when the IT band then started.
Yeah.
And that was like severely painful. But I think
Yeah.
that one came on like a week or two later. So I obviously
Okay.
just
Yeah.
carried on running because I was just like me being stubborn. And I was like, I've
Yeah.
got to 30K, I can manage. Because you kind of like deload then. So I was like, it'll settle, it'll be fine. And
Yeah.
then I got to Paris Marathon and I couldn't really walk the day before. And I was sat with ice packs on my knees the night before.
It's not good preparation, that really, is it?
If you see someone like that, the classic, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, I've got that far. I'm good at holding pain. So I was like, we'll just carry on running.
Yeah.
And then I did see a physio before it. But I had no relationship with him. It was just like a random guy that I went and saw. He was like a running specialist. And I think he kind of looked at me like, you're a classic influencer that's trying to run
Yeah.
and doesn't really have any background in sport without knowing actually I do have a background in sport. And he was just like, yeah, it's IT band. If it hurts, but you can probably make it through it fine. It'll just need to recover after. So I kind of was just like, all right, ice pack,
Very
bang some
comprehensive.
painkillers.
Yeah.
Yeah, bang some painkillers, had some cocodamol whilst I was running, got some strong ibuprofen gel prescribed, and I was just like, put it all on and hope for the best.
The aim of this podcast isn't to advise that is the right thing to do, just as a for
caveating
context. Yeah.
caveating for the 4 years after, it's not worth it. Don't do it.
No, absolutely. And then, obviously, like you did the marathon, you finished it, you didn't enjoy it, you didn't hit the time that you wanted to do, but
No.
was there anything like in the build up to the training? Had you struggled with knee injuries in the past, or was that where it started?
So I never struggled with. I basically had surgery when I was in high school.
Yeah.
to remove some meniscus cartilage. So I used to play tennis quite competitive when I was younger,
Yeah.
and that used to start giving way. Um, and it was a case of they don't really know what it is. Let's just go in and do some keyhole to basically figure out. And then I think when I was younger, they were kind of like I hadn't grown, my knees hadn't, because I did gymnastics as well. Basically, said the meniscus cartilage hadn't compressed properly.
Yeah.
So in my left knee, it was like I think it's when I go to an oval shape, and it was no, it's when I go to a moon shape, and it's still an oval shape. So they
Yeah.
were like, it's just not developed as it should have done by the age I was at. So I essentially got keyhole on that and got some of it, basically got it trimmed to how it should be shaped.
Yeah.
That was probably what, I don't even know what year that was, early high school years. But then
Yeah.
other than that, I never had any knee issues. I had a lot of lower back issues from going tennis to gymnastics and just being hypermobile again.
Yeah.
But like knees otherwise, never, like we're all fine.
Yeah.
But my dad does have bad knees. So I was like, it's something might come later down the line.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think it's important to mention it because a lot of people think, oh, my family have had this, so I'm going to have this, and
Yeah.
there are some like genetic factors within there which may predispose you, but a lot of the time, like it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy that
Yeah.
it worsen. Like everyone's going to experience niggles at different times, but like if you attach emotion and meaning to it because your dad has had it or a family member's had it, you're like, well, this is me now, and then you
Yeah.
almost get dragged down that path.
And it's also like one of those things where like knowing how my dad trains now, like the man's
I can
65 and
say,
doesn't
yeah.
bloody stop. But like equally then probably knowing how he trained back then, it was probably all self-inflicted, his knees.
Yeah.
I
I
guarantee.
nearly said when you said you took over his garage, I can't imagine he was very happy. Where did all his bikes go and
Literally.
things like that? Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely like it's like one of those. I always thought it would come because of my dad, but then now having done all this rehab and knowing how you actually do to build up yourself, I'm like, it's definitely not like you don't
Yeah.
inherit it. It's
You've got
literally
some
like,
control.
yeah, for sure.
No, that's cool. And then obviously the unspoken thing is like how you feeling at that point. People just talk about like the facts. It's like I've got this injury and this is how I fixed it.
Yeah.
How were you feeling at that point? Obviously, really active. A lot of your identity, I imagine, was tied to being like a good athlete and training
Yeah.
all the time. A lot of your enjoyment, social, like you mentioned earlier. Where was your head at?
I think it was one of those things because when I did it, I'm like, well, obviously when I spoke to that other physio before, and he was like, it should settle down after it. I was like, fine, because I did what Paris is in April, so I was like, have a few months off, summer.
Yeah,
I wasn't like I was never a big runner. I was just running for the marathon, so I was kind of like, I can have some time off without running. That's fine with me as long as I can carry on doing the strength stuff. But then the injury carried over into the strength bits, and where they said have 1 month off, it was like nothing was getting better. And then you obviously go
yeah,
into summer, and it was then everyone was doing. Then the whole social scene of running was like blowing up. So then everyone was going into like 5Ks. Like every event was a 5K. Every influencer event that I was invited to was a 5K.
yeah,
And like nothing I could do. Like I was turning up to all these events and just I was like, I'll come back on run. So it was just like in my head, it was like, okay, have a month off, let it settle, chill, and then you'll get back to it. And it just never got back to it. And the more and more I did it, the more and more frustrated I was getting. And
yeah.
I generally never thought I'd be able to run again. Like
Oh, really?
I was actually coming to terms with that in my head. Like I just didn't think I would ever be able to. Um, I got
And
back some of like
why do you think that was? Just because it was prolonging, or
just because it was like I didn't like I knew what it was, but I was doing so much strength and like I'd worked with other physios and was like my strength I got the strongest I'd ever been.
yeah,
I was doing like what was prescribed to do, but whenever I went like I could run like a K and then as soon as I got past like that,
yeah. I
the
remember
pace
this.
started
Yeah,
creeping in. And it was just like it wasn't as if like because there was one point where I couldn't even like walk to work, it was that painful. So it
yeah,
was just things were like settling slowly, but it wasn't I was doing all the right things that I was told at the time that nothing was helping it, yet no one was helping give an answer. And it was just like, I didn't understand it. So I couldn't make it better.
yeah. No,
Um,
it is interesting that as we go through the timeline, I mentioned here like the failed rehab attempts, like the IT
yeah,
band physio for 3 months, the movement specialist with the strength and the movement mechanics block. I think it's like it's very interesting what you said of like I didn't understand it.
yeah. And I think that's
Like,
my thing because it's like, I think for me to fix it, I need to know what it is. And I
Yeah.
think that was my big, not red flag with physios, but like I'm always of the opinion like you can't like the specialists in medicine for a reason. Like you've like a physio can't see in your knee, they don't do MRIs. Like it requires multiple people to get a rounded answer to then be able to address it properly. And it
Yeah.
was like I think also when you talk to different physios, they're all very opinionated on different things. And it's like I'd have some that be like, you don't need an MRI. And I'm like, you might say that, but then equally you can't see into my knee. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you're guessing at things, which obviously some things are like very easy. Like you know the triggers, you know the responses, you know what. But it's also like when you've failed so many things going back and forth with different people and every single person you speak to says something different, you're
Yeah. It's
like,
hard.
someone literally just look at my knee and tell me what it is, and then I can go to a physio and be like, fix it. Like
Yeah.
it's
Do you think that's the way your brain works as well? Like obviously, like in your corporate job, there's
yeah.
a degree of like analytical side to it and problem solving, and like, do you think that's
Yeah, like I've been like it the whole way to school. Like I can't,
yeah,
you can't tell me something's the answer unless I understand it. I won't
yeah.
believe you. So,
And I'm the same. Like I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I've had some injuries and stuff like that, and it's probably the thing that led me down the line of wanting to be a physio and how I've structured how we do things. But I think like
yeah.
ultimately, the more clarity that you have.
I know. What a delight. It's crispy cold in here. I know. I had to leave the hot
I'm
water
trying to
on.
think of the more
It's kind of,
clarity that you have, the easier you see the journey to be, and it's like right, I just know that I need to show up, do this work because it's going to get me
yeah,
to the next phase, and the next phase looks like this, and once I've done that, then this is the next phase. Yes,
yeah,
we may hit speed bumps, we may have to reroute in terms of like the exercise selection or the frequency of doing something or something like that, but ultimately, this is the problem, this is where I need to be, and these are the steps that I need to get there. There's a huge
yeah.
amount of like clarity and confidence in that process for me, in my
And
opinion, anyway.
I think it's one of those things, right? It's like we spoke about before. It's like it's so complex. Everyone's so individual. Everyone's factors, what they've gone through, what they've been through, how they work, how they train, how they think, how they do everything is so individual. And I'm like, any physio that I speak to, and it's this is like I have a 30-minute consultation. They're like, do X, Y, Z. I'm like, struggle to believe that because there's a lot of other things here that are going on that have been going on that like
Yeah.
I like it's like I know now I studied biology. Like biology was my favorite subject. I'm like everything is so interlinked. Like even just like stress factors on your stress, like being stressed on your recovery. I'm like, it's like I had a physio. Like one of my coaches once was like, "You need to sleep more." I was like,
Yeah.
I could have told you that, but equally, I don't have that as an option.
Yeah. This is my life and this is the situation, and
Yeah,
it all factors in, and that's why like we don't do anything that's cookie cutter because your life
yeah,
is so different to the next person's life, and you may on paper have the same injury or like the same diagnosis, but your goals are different, and like that's why we don't just treat pain. It's like, well,
yeah,
what does being pain-free allow you to do? And then we can build something that's specific to you and meaningful to you that you'll enjoy more. If you enjoy it more, you adhere to it more. If you adhere to it more, you get better results. And we end up having a conversation like this.
yeah, for sure.
Out of interest, so obviously you work with previous physios, like, and it ties in nicely. Did they do any like objective testing? Did they say this side is this strong and this side is this strong and it needs to be this strong?
Like, yes. So I probably had what? I had three physios prior to
Yeah,
you. I had one, the guy that I went to just before Paris Marathon, and then
yeah,
I saw him once after it, and his was very much like I say, a 30-minute appointment, come in, come out, move
yeah,
my legs around, says this doesn't catch anything here, you're fine. It's
yeah,
probably this. Here's a few exercises, see if it settles. That one I don't think I did. I think I did like a tiny bit of testing with him, but again, it was like because it was like it wasn't a proper like 12-week plan. It was like there's no start and end. Like we did that test, he's like that could probably get a bit stronger. Okay, yeah, but what
yeah,
is it now and where should it get to? And then like the other one that I saw was then through work, which is my other bugbear, is that work give you healthcare, but then your physio is our physio is a back to work physio. So
yeah.
they physio you back to sit at a desk. And I was like,
I can do that.
dude, like I don't need that. Like that's not help. So like none of them were like sport. Like they didn't know sport. Like you would
Yeah,
tell them that you're running like 10K every other day and they'll be like, oh gosh, like I need to do my first 2K. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like they just don't relate to it. So it's like they don't understand it. And then the one that I then saw before you, who I did like a big block with, the more biomechanics stuff, that was like, we did a lot of testing in that. But again, it was like biomechanic movement pattern testing as opposed to, and that one, like through that, I did get probably the strongest I've been. But again, it was in very compound movements as opposed to running specific. I'm going to be really annoying. Let me just put my laptop on charge.
That's all right.
Sorry. I just forgot.
That's all right. I presume you can still hear me.
It's not good for us. Go. Sorry, I really didn't think it was going to reach that.
That's all right. It's all good.
Sorry, I'm hoping you can cut that out.
That'll be fine. We'll be fine. I might leave it in. Who knows? It's a very relaxed podcast. Hence the swearing. I guess that leads on nicely. Obviously, failed attempts, like not really giving you the direction, the clarity, the steps. Like one of the things that we talk about internally a lot, and hopefully it came out in how we work together, was like, we want to really understand your end goal beyond being pain-free, because it allows us to develop like a needs analysis of what your overall performance needs to look like. And that's how we build the plan. It's like we'll build two separate plans within the same one. And it's like, right, how do we fix the problem? How do we get your knees feeling the best they can feel, performing well? But then also, how does that fit into the full picture of, right, what does Hannah, the athlete who wants to do 70.3s, need to look like? And I think like that is the key for me, especially for someone like yourself, but for anyone, even if they just want to run around, play with kids in the garden, like there's still specific qualities that you have to be able to achieve.
For sure.
And I think like for reflecting on your journey, that was a big thing that was missing. Everyone was just like, right, how do we fix the knee? Rather than how do we make Hannah the best athlete to complete the things she wants to do, so she's robust, resilient, and she can perform with a pain-free knee.
And I think as well, it was kind of, I don't know, like when I spoke to other people, like they kind of tell me things I need to be doing, and I'm like looking at them and I'm like, I don't believe this. Like, this is just a bit of fluff movement that you're trying to turn into something uber more complex. And I'm like, there's so much of it. Like, I'm very black and white. Like, I literally I'm very much a believer of like, do the basics well, and then it will carry over into something else.
100%.
And I think there's a lot of overcomplication and like people trying to make it sound smarter than what it actually is unnecessarily. And whereas 100%. I feel like the bits that I did with you, it was literally like I hadn't sat on half of those machines like in years, and it literally was like, take it back to very, very basics.
Yeah, and then build from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the simple things savagely well. It's one of my favourite things. Again, leads on nicely. What made you decide to work with me, with Move Online?
How did I get here? Where did it start?
You just reached out to me on Instagram. I don't think anyone referred you.
No, I put it up on my story because I was just fed up, and I was like looking for physios, and I was at the time I was seeing the one via work. Yeah. So I think I put it on my story, and a friend of mine, she had used you before.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of her name, and it's gone from my head.
I can't think who it was.
I want to say Kerry Smith.
Was it Kerry? Yeah.
Yeah.
She plays touch rugby.
Did she do an Ironman or something at one point, or half, or run? Is it Kerry Smith?
She's blonde.
Yes.
Yeah, Kerry, when we worked with her, it was her knee, and she wanted to get back to playing touch rugby.
Yes, Kerry. I was like, I knew it was a Kerry, I just couldn't think of the surname. I just looked. Yeah, so
nice.
She replied to me and was like, she used you guys.
She did, yeah. She did the pro recovery plan as well, yeah.
Yeah, which I was like, I'm always very like conscious of what I put on my stories, because obviously, like if it's other influencers replying or people that have just got it for free or whatever, I was like, whereas obviously Kerry's like a very private person, just so good at sport, and I was like, okay, sweet. And then I literally had never seen your name, your profile, anything to do with you before.
Yeah.
And then went onto your page and saw so many people that you worked with that I knew. And I was like, oh, must have a few legs to him. Let's go.
Yeah. Nice. And then obviously, I think we had a bit of a chat on social media, jumped on a call.
Yeah.
And was I guess before we even hit the testing week, which is the first week that we do with anyone that we work with, was there anything that stood out to you in terms of like why you chose me or how I or we approach things?
I think it was one, I guess the time that I actually spoke to you, I was very hesitant because I was like, I
You
had spent
yeah.
so much money on physios already. And I was literally like, Jesus Christ almighty. I was like, I can't afford this life. It's expensive being injured.
Yeah.
And I was like, but the one thing I kind of liked was you guys were very stubborn in only offering what you offer because you believed in that as a product.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, it was annoying me because I was like, I know I need to do it, but it's also expensive. But I know, like, I appreciated it. It was very black and white.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of liked and what I need, sort of thing. So it's.
Yeah, it's a funny one because it's like, and obviously I do a bit of like mentorship with other businesses and stuff like that now from a physio perspective, and it's like you are selling, but it has to come from, especially in healthcare and medical and anything really, like from an ethical place. And I remember having the conversation with you, and you were like, right, well, these are all my problems. Like, and there's a quote underneath there about like how you've not ran for 9 months, and I've tried this, and I've tried this, and I've tried this, and I'm like, well, we've got a couple of different options, but actually, you've got a complex knee, you've got a complex history. You want to achieve like challenging things. Our most comprehensive package, our Pro Recovery Performance Plan, is the best thing for you.
Yeah.
And I, in my opinion, like I would have done you an injustice by going, well, we could kind of make it work like this for you, but not get you the best result versus what we did achieve.
And I think it's one of those where I was at the point where I was like, this either has to work and I go all in, or I don't, and I'm just going to be bouncing around for like another year.
Yeah.
And I hate salespeople. Like someone tries to sell something
awful.
to me. Yeah. Oh my God, it annoys me. I'm like, just leave me alone.
It's sort of like, hopefully it comes across in the right way, but because it is sales and it's like, you have to show
I
people.
appreciate it and I understand
exactly,
it.
But it's like, this is my recommendation. This is what I believe you need to do. If that's not for you, cool. But it's a strange world. Okay, cool. And then obviously we did our testing week. I've included some of the numbers that we sort of went through, and it probably identified like why, especially when you were trying to run and you could run like 1-2K and then the pain had come back in. Yeah. And like these are some of the key findings that we went through. And like there was a few movement compensations when we went through like a movement assessment, but the resounding thing was your capacity. So like your single leg squat, your hamstring bridges, your calf raises, and your split squat isometric. None of them hit the minimum of 25. Like you were quite considerably off. I think
it's one of those things where like, because it's funny because I think even when you do sport like your entire life, you don't. Like even I did S&C at uni for like years for netball, and like even like when I played like county hockey, we did S&C. Like I've always done like we had to do reformer Pilates to like supplement the hockey. Like I've always done the strength, but like never for those. They always focus on the compound or the plyometrics, never like isolated.
It's so interesting that you've said that, because like actually when we look at your max strength, you were hitting what you needed to hit.
Yeah.
On like the single leg press, the single leg extension. Yes, the hamstring was too painful to do at that time, which is what it is. But like you were able to hit those, but then some of the other physical qualities weren't where they needed to be. And it starts to make sense, like why you weren't able to do the things that you wanted to do. Yeah. Because obviously, as you run, like you've run 1K, 2K. Like it sounds like not a lot compared to like running a marathon and like what the world thinks running is now. But like your body is still fatiguing during that time, and if your capacity is low and your endurance and resistance to fatigue is low, then it pulls from your strength, so then you get weaker quicker, and like your plyometric ability degrades quicker, and like it's a bigger picture than just strength or just movement mechanics.
And I think it's like you say, it's more that endurance aspect. Like even like netball, what is like 15-minute quarters. Yeah. It's like tennis is probably a bit longer, but I did that when I was younger. And then like CrossFit was max a 10-minute workout, and it was like the capacity to deal with the fatigue
100%.
On the repetitive movement pattern. I just hadn't built up the strength around that, or knew I needed to, sort of thing.
And I think obviously I put the results on the screen, and if someone's watching this on YouTube, they'll be there. But it's like in just 5 weeks, you've gone from like not hitting them and been quite a considerable way away from them to comfortably hitting them, like both sides being relatively equal as well. And like that shows like even though when someone is a long way away, if you are a good athlete and you've got an athletic background, how quick you can make these changes.
Yeah.
And like that probably leads us on to the next point, that only 6 weeks in, we restarted plyometrics. 8 weeks in, we started a return to run. And yes, it took us 12 weeks to get to a 5K, but that was probably as well from our part just being a little bit slower.
Yeah.
To make sure that we didn't have any issues. There was a couple of speed bumps along the way, but like October 24, you run 5K.
Yeah.
And then you started making that real transition from like a CrossFit athlete, in quotation marks, to like an endurance athlete now.
Yeah, don't give me a barbell anymore.
Well, you still dip your toe in.
It'll squish me whole if I tried to do any of that.
It wouldn't at all. And I think it'd be cool. Like, obviously, I've made a list of some of the things that you've done since then. Like 2 70.3s. How many marathons?
Just one. I just did London this year.
Just London, yeah. The Ultra, the Represent event.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I did a half marathon last year as well.
Yeah. I concluded the half marathons in the marathons.
Yeah.
How many high rocks?
2, I think I did.
Did you qualify for Worlds?
Nah.
No.
It was like I only did one. I did one when I was I did that 5-week. I did that 5K October. I think I did it in November.
Yeah.
And then that was the last one I did, so it was like very still not fast.
No.
What else have I done? Yeah, that's probably it.
I remember you saying you did it with Jake, didn't you?
I did. Oh no, I did. Yes, I did. No, I did that one in the just before my Ironman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember you telling me how horrible it was.
I was cruising.
Oh,
He had his head in and been throwing up.
Oh, is it that way around?
Yeah.
And then
I was ready to run like a sub-6 because I was probably like the fittest I'd been, and then
I think that's where I've got the world from. I think that's where I got the world, because you were like, "Oh, I think we could probably do it." Yeah, and it went wrong, didn't it?
Out the third station, he was throwing up. I was like, sick.
And then you have dipped your toe into some functional fitness with the turf games, obviously, over the last couple of years as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I did some of that. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. And I think the thing I wanted to touch on is Mathan and talk about that, because I think your ability to get back to doing the endurance stuff has probably fueled building that as well, and allowed you to be front and center in it more than you maybe would have been when you weren't running.
Try launch a clothing brand when you can't do any sport. A sportswear brand.
I know, especially one that's like a lot of running apparel as well.
And when running is the most trending, marketable thing.
Tell people about Mathan.
Mathan is great.
It is.
Yeah, so it is a sports performance clothing brand that I launched with my brother. And yeah, basically we're both obsessed with sport, done sport our whole lives, done corporate, kind of wanted to figure out how you merge business and sport, and then don't ask me how we ended up on sports clothes. But I think it's just cool. Like, I think I love sport. I've always loved sport. I think it's like one of the most incredible things for people to do, especially like young girls and just people growing up. Like, I think you can literally tell whenever you walk into anyone who's done sport, and especially team sport, like it makes such a difference how they work with people, how they carry themselves, how confident they are. And I think sport is just one of the greatest things people can do. And I just wanted to create a business that was centered around that, not solely running, more across like all sport. So yeah, we launched Mathan.
Nice.
I know. So if anyone needs any clothes,
they definitely should do. Is it the women's shorts that every person asks you about on social media and every event that you go to and stuff like that?
Oh, women's running shorts and our women's long sleeve running top, obviously not in 35 degrees heat, but they're like out of stock.
Yeah, constantly.
Honestly, yeah.
And then you've got the stock challenges, which we've spent enough time ranting about, haven't we?
They're worse than rehab. Between dealing with not being able to run and dealing with delayed stalk, I don't know.
Especially over Christmas, eh?
Yeah, like 2023 and 2024 were not. I was not thriving.
Well, I
Okay.
would suggest otherwise. And I think, again, it probably brings us nicely to just reflecting on the last couple of years and like what would you be your biggest wins?
Biggest wins would be probably learning to understand that you can actually repair the body in any aspect. I think.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I just think, now whenever I see anybody injured, I'm just like, you can actually repair yourself. You're just not doing it properly. Obviously, within an extent, like not if you've got like a broken bone, like put that in a cast first.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's just like learning like the value that the human body has to be able to repair itself is quite cool.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That is cool.
Top three or just top one?
No, we'll go top three. Can you expand on that a little bit more? Because like I didn't expect you to say that, and I think if I'd have remembered the biology background, maybe that would have triggered it a little bit more. But like, why do you think that was like the first thing that came to mind? Is it because you felt like you were in maybe a place where that wouldn't happen?
Yeah, I think it's like because I've gone from not being able to move freely to now that I can again. So it makes you appreciate it.
Nice.
And I think a lot of people are like stuck in the fact that they can't, or don't think that, like, it's similar to like why we launched Nathan, right? There was like to realize that you can do more than you're capable of.
Yeah.
And it's like realizing that value that you can do that. And if you're injured, as long as you do rehab it back properly, you can probably come back stronger from it.
Yeah.
But I think having it take away from you, obviously not to the extent there's a lot worse things going on in the world, but the freedom to run, it's like does wonders for
I do think it's important as well. Like, obviously you acknowledge there's other things that go on in the world, but it can feel like your whole world is limited because you're not able to do the things that you enjoy doing. And I think acknowledging that as a feeling is very important as well, because you shouldn't undermine your experience. Because...
I'm also like let it suck, because then the more you feel like it sucks, the more you're going to do something about it.
Well, yeah, there is
That's
that.
what I always think.
Definitely. Cool. Any other sort of like big wins that stand out for you? You don't have to do three, but I think it'd be nice to acknowledge them.
If you do more like performance based, doing London Marathon this year and then 2 weeks after doing Mallorca, both of them pain free.
Yeah.
Not had any issues other than just being tired and not wanting to train after it, but like walked absolutely fine the next day after both of them.
Nice.
Minus stairs after the marathon. But like, completely no injuries. And then another one, top 3.
Is there any event that was like standout for you? Whether that was like a specific race, whether it was something that you've attended from a personal brand perspective, Matham perspective, like anything that was like a time point where I obviously acknowledge there like that shift from pain to performance. Is there anything where you went, oh, actually, I am overcoming this?
I think it was probably my Ironman last year.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like I think like that's what we were building to.
Yeah.
And there was such a big question mark over it. And obviously it went from like the marathon broke my knees, but that only had a half in it. But it was like to get to a point where I could run that. I can't tell you how happy I was running it. I was just more excited just to be running, just doing it. So I think, probably that aspect. And obviously that was when Nathan started going well as well. So it was like, that was my like euphoric moment.
Nice. No, that's cool. That's cool. It's nice to hear. And then what are your goals going forward? Obviously, you've just done the 70.3 and you've had a bit of downtime and decompression. Have you got
chill?
Goal? That's as good a goal as any. That is as good a goal as any.
Goals go forward.
Are you going to do a full?
I would really love to. The only thing that I have is I want to do that when I've got the time and capacity to do it properly. Not even properly from like a time standpoint or being able to run a sub whatever. More from the point of I can actually do the training and actually enjoy it. Because I think when I did Paris Marathon, I was running that whilst working a full-time corporate job and like running at like 4 or 5 a.m. Friday mornings to do my long runs. I was like, I don't want to. It just takes the fun out of it, and also then the recovery aspect of it. Like I want to be able to do when I can train properly, recover properly. But at some point I would love to. I'm now just tempted to try see if I can run a faster marathon.
Oh yeah.
I think is my plan. Yeah. I kind of ran London. I didn't really race London. I just ran it off my heart rate. And
Yeah.
I was like, keep your heart rate below 160 and then see how close that takes you to 330.
Yeah.
I think I got like I think my first time was like 335.
Nice.
So I was like, if I redline that a little bit, I wonder where I can get.
What would you be happy with out of interest in a marathon?
I don't actually know because I was like I obviously did Paris was like 411, which was obviously not awful, but awful for me where I was at that point with my knees.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this one I just want to use as a base to see what's a good starting point.
Yeah.
But then like even that that marathon block I was doing alongside a half Ironman block.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've never actually done just
running.
Just running. But then equally I think the Ironman stuff helps because the cross training on the bike I think really
100%.
helps like protect my hamstring a bit as well.
Yeah.
And also carries over to the running.
I think that's a really good point that you said there because like most people in your situation would probably go, I'm going to train for a marathon, so I'm just going to drop all the cross training. I'm just going to run.
Yeah.
And I think like especially with people that have previous injuries, it's like you're almost better to go from a running perspective, minimum effective dose that you need to do of time on feet, and then supplement all of like maybe some of your longer stuff or your slower stuff or your recovery stuff with off feet modalities.
Yeah.
Because it's balancing up like how does your body feel, and the only way you'll know it is by going through it and like I say, hitting a speed bump and learning and stuff like that. But I think most people would just go like, right, I'm going to train for a marathon, so I'm just going to run, and then they end up hitting
injured or bored.
Well, they just end up hitting these speed bumps and go, my only option is running. Where actually it's like, well, to run a fast marathon, you don't need to be like a 70, 80, 90, 100k a week runner. Like you can be a 40, 50k a week runner, but then do 3-4 hours on a bike and still get the same cardiovascular benefits, and then allow you that carry over and allow you to run fast. And it's I guess a learning experience of how your body responds and what you can tolerate.
Yeah. And I think even when I did the block this time, I think I was more or less 50k run weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously when it built up to the peak, not from the beginning.
Yeah.
But then that was still with 150k bikes, which I don't need to do that much. I can just do like a one Sunday long bike.
Yeah,
by me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it definitely carries over. But I don't know what time I'd aim for. Definitely sub 330. I just don't know to what extent or when.
I think you'd comfortably go sub 320.
Maybe if I did a full block.
I think
I think I want to carry on running. My plan is to carry on running now this summer. I've got a half. I'm going to do Lisbon half.
Nice.
But just like for fun with Cooper and Mathan, and then maybe I don't know. I was going to do another half Ironman, but I'm kind of bored of the swimming, so I'm enjoying the running and biking now.
Yeah, bored of staring at a line on the bottom of a pool. I don't understand it at all, personally.
And I'm also like, I swam twice a week for 6 months. I got no better.
I'm going to put 320 in here as a marathon, but we'll see. Cool. Anything else? Anything Mathan related that people should know?
Just get that to a point where I can do it full time.
Nice.
So everybody just buy more clothes. No, I need to market that better. I need to learn how to market. That's what I need to do on that one.
I think you're pretty good at it. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Hannah. I guess the last thing to do is if people want to find Mathan, where should we send them?
At Mathan Fit and at Mathan Clow.
Mathan Fit at Mathan Clow.
Yeah.
Do you want people to go to you or just there?
Either or, whichever they fancy more.
There you go. I forget that you're Mathan Fit.
You know what? I said that and then I'm like, I'm going to change it this week because I've written that name gives me the ick.
I forgot that was. I was like, what's your thing? And it's actually your personal Instagram is you and your brother and Fit. There you go.
Every time I need to change, it's been on my list to change it for weeks, but I can't change it because it's currently tied to some brands. So
really?
I'm waiting for them to let it go so I can.
Nice. Right. Well, thank you very much. It was good to catch up, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you.
I'll see you in like a year's time when I do 320.
Thanks,
See you later then. Bye.
Right.